I do feel like you kind of have to take a step back and look at the larger sort of geopolitical context. I think the Arab Spring was really fascinating, and not a lot of authors had written about it when at the time, when the Peacock and the Sparrow came out. So my second book is a prequel. It's kind of it's kind of during the global war on terror, after we've invaded Iraq, and sort of what was happening in Europe at the time, sort of the counter response to the war on terror, these sort of simmering cells in Europe that were forming in response to our invasion of Iraq. So
Mhm.
that's sort of my setting. How about what kind of calculations do you make with your setting, and what made you choose with Fade In? Um,
I really have always been fascinated if you look at my history with the rising power of the individual because of technology and things that they can do. An individual, a crazy but smart individual, can do horrible things. And the breakdown of governments now a little bit, the rise of this hyper wealthy class, AI, all of these things. I mean, that are difficult to write about because they're complicated and it's hard to predict where they're going and things change so quickly. I think most people don't think about that don't think about how long it takes to write a book. So you start in one world and you end in a year and a half, maybe later, or 2 years even, when your book comes out, and maybe that world's changed.
mhm.
So when I wrote the Mitch Rapp books, it was very much about terrorism, the Middle East, and things like
Mhm.
that. So I wanted to explore, technology, shifts in society, um, social media, and all these things, AI. And so that was kind of why I wanted to bring Fade back. I'd always wondered if he's a guy that's kind of philosophical and he can look at these things and make interesting observations about them. And a guy who very different than a lot of protagonists, I think. I think he's more similar to yours in the sense that not the superhuman, not the necessarily the master of his own universe. He can get swept along in things.
Mhm.
And so to me, that was fun after writing Mitch Rapp for 10 years, who's very much in charge, the master of his own universe. Here you have a guy that thinks, oh no, what have I gotten myself into? I have no
Yeah,
idea. You
I think
know,
that's really interesting. I mean, that's my favorite kind of character.
it must be what you felt every day, though, when you worked for the CIA. And so I was like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? Right.
Pretty much.